Hi, I'm Jennifer Dornbush. Welcome to Forensic Fridays, and today I have a great question that was posed to me when I was just on a Twitter chat with a bunch of writers. They asked me, what is the one thing that all great crime stories need to have? Okay, well, first of all, here's a list of some of my favorite crime stories. Let's see if we can figure out what is the common denominator. The Fugitive, Prisoners, Stand By Me, Hell or High Water, Pushing Daisies, Veronica Mars, Quincy, Fargo, Grosse Point Blank, Top of the Lake, Rear Window, Sherlock Holmes. I'm sure there's more, but these are kind of first top off my list. Very different, all very different, right? What's the one thing that all of these have in common? Interesting, unique protagonists. And these protagonists deal with time-tested, universal problems and emotions. It's the one thing all of these have in common if you dig down. So I think that every successful crime story actually starts from that strong lead, knowing who that strong lead character is and what motivates them. How do we create this amazing crime protagonist? Where do we start? What do we do? Two things to start. Number one, when you're creating your investigator protagonist, the first thing you need to do is look at his or her strengths and weaknesses. They need to be the same thing or interrelated. So for instance, Dexter's one of his biggest strengths, greatest strengths, is that he has this amazing ability to figure out blood spatter patterns and to figure out crimes based on that. What's his biggest weakness? He's a serial killer, and he uses that information to hide his crimes, to hide his killing, basically. The second thing is you have to know what's motivating your character, like that deep, personal, emotional motivation. What is delving them into the world of crime solving? So again, going back to Dexter as an example, Dexter has this great need to deal with the dark passenger in his life. If he doesn't deal with it, he's going to completely unwind. And so he's been trained to deal with that. He has to deal with that in order to survive. So that's his strongest motivation. Monk. In the series Monk, his deepest motivation is he's really ultimately going back into the police force to find out how his wife Trudy died and what caused her death. One of my favorites, Grosse Point Blank, which is an older movie, and it's mostly comedy, but it is definitely a crime-solving type of show. And the main character there is Martin Blank. And when he was a teenager, he ran away from home to become, just to get away from home. We don't quite figure out the reasons why, it doesn't matter, but the whole point is he comes back to his hometown. When the movie starts, he's coming back to reconcile with his past, and to commit his last hit job. So you see there's a very deep motivation for him to come back to his hometown. Yes, there's the motivation that he's got this hit job that he has to do and it happens to be in his hometown, but the ultimate journey is that he's trying to reconcile with his past and a girl that he left behind there. So as you're creating your next great crime solving story, your next great mystery, who's going to be the best man or woman for the job and why? Start there and you will have an amazing crime story. If you haven't already picked up a copy of, whoa, it's upside down, Forensic Speak, my book on how to create authentic mysteries and crime stories, please grab a copy. You can grab that off my website. And if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, I would love to have you as part of our community. Both can be found on my website at www.jenniferdornbush.com. Sign up for the newsletter, grab Forensic Speak. Write, create those amazing stories, and we'll see you next time on Forensic Fridays.